And we'll get started. So the first thing I want to do is start with the 2 assessments that we're going to do. So first one is, what I want you to do is you're going to stand up and take your right hand and you're going to place it behind your back like this, okay, over the top of the shoulder, and then you're going to reach back with that other hand and then see if you can touch, okay? All right, and then you're going to do the same thing on the other side, and we're going to look for any asymmetries, okay? So what the research shows, while you guys are doing that, I'll kind of explain what normal is and what we should be looking for. So normal is we should be able to touch, okay? If we're within a fist width but not touching, it means we're at a slight increased risk for injury, but not anything too crazy. If we're outside of a width of a fist, then we are at a high risk for injury, okay? And then also if we start seeing some asymmetries where we're able to touch on one side and then the other side is more than fist width, that is also high risk for injury as well, because the body does not like asymmetries. All right, we want to make things as symmetrical as possible, okay? So you guys should be done with that by now. All right, so just make a mental note on what side was kind of more restricted, okay? And then we will go over some exercises that will help kind of normalize that and make it more symmetrical as well. All right, we're going to do one last test, okay? Determine where your restrictions are at. So the thing with this is I'm not going to be able to get my back against the wall completely because of this railing. You guys will be able to get a good idea. All right, so what I want you to do is you're going to, see here. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your arms, kind of make it into a field goal post like this. All right, and then what you're going to do is you're going to reach above your head. And you want to make sure the back of your elbow and the back of your hand are staying in contact with the wall that entire time. Okay, if we're unable to slide up all the way to the top of the to overhead without letting our elbows or hands come up, tells me there's some restrictions there. Another compensation, what I don't want you guys to do is arch your low back to be able to do this. Okay, a lot of you will be able to do it with the arch back, but a lot of you guys won't be able to do it once you position your rib cage down and contract that core. And make sure that low back stays against the wall, and then retest. Okay, keep that low back against the wall, and then try and do that same thing. All right. If you're able to do it, when you arch your back, but not able to do it when you keep that core contracted and engaged, that tells me that one of your muscles is tight, especially the lat. Okay, the lat is a muscle that attaches underneath the armpit, extends down into kind of like the hip area, all right? So when we arch, we take slack off of that muscle, all right? Kind of allows it to cheat and doesn't have to be, it's not impacted as much as if we kept the rib cage down and engaged and the core engaged, okay? So what we're gonna do today is we're going to target the lats because that's the majority of the time where people are restricted. If you can put in the comments too, like where you felt the restrictions were and how you did with those tests, I'll be able to also kind of make it more tailored to you. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and give you guys 3 exercises that are the best exercises to improve lat mobility, okay, so lat stretches. And then also we're going to talk about how the mid-back plays a factor into things as well. So I'm going to do a generalized approach here, okay, because again, I haven't done any assessments on any of you. And there's 17 muscles that attach at the shoulder joint, okay? And could be any one of those could be tight. I'm going to go and take a generalized approach and target the muscles that I tend to see in my practice that are most tight on people when they come in with shoulder injuries. First one is that lat, okay? So we're going to go over that. And then I also want to talk about how thoracic mobility or our mid-back mobility plays a factor in things as well. So a lot of times when we're sitting with bad posture, okay, we're rounded forward like this. Okay, our mid-back is rounded out. Our shoulders are caving forward. All right. Watch what happens if I try with bad posture and I'm rounded out. Watch what happens if I try and reach my arms above my head. This is literally as far as I can go with a round back. Okay. Watch what happens if I just correct my mid-back posture and see how much further I can go. You guys see that? You guys see how much improvement is made just from getting that mid-back extension back, all right? And then watch what happens if I lose that, all right? So I see a lot of times people with shoulder injuries come in and be like, Yeah, I did a whole. I went on YouTube and I searched what are the best exercises for shoulder pain. All right, but the reality it wasn't their shoulder that was the issue. It was their mid back that was the issue. Okay, that's why it's important to get eyes on you and make sure that you're doing the correct exercise that are geared towards you, because everybody's so different. All right, like I said, there's 17 muscles attached to the shoulder joint. Any one of those could be playing a factor. All right, YouTube doesn't know that. Okay. So we're also going to go after exercise to help with that mid-back extensibility, all right, and flexibility as well. This is especially important for people that sit quite a bit throughout the day, all right, and notice that they're sitting with poor posture. And for people that have headaches too, this can be beneficial, all right, because it helps keep that alignment, that proper alignment of the spine too. Okay. So let's go ahead and we're going to start with the thoracic mobility, and then we'll move on to the lat mobility. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pretend that everybody has a foam roller. If not, that's totally okay. I'll give you tips on how you can do this at home in the future without a foam roller. You can also do it right now without a foam roller too. But what you can do if you don't have one is take a towel, roll it up really, really tight, okay, like a beach towel, roll it up, and then you can put like tape around it, okay, and roll it up into a ball kind of like this. All right, what we're going to do next is lay with for those that have come to a lot of these mobility classes, this is one we've done in the past. So you're going to lay on that foam roller, okay, right at that shoulder blade level. All right, let's go right at the bottom of the shoulder blade, and then we're going to extend over the top of this. Okay, and back up. And back down. Okay, make sure you're breathing out on the way down. And breathing in. Breathing out. Okay, this is also helping open up that front of the chest too. Okay, because like I said, we tend to be kind of like caved in with bad posture. We want to open everything up. Back. Back forward. Let's do about 3 more. This should feel good. None of these should be painful. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to scoot our hips down and shift that foam roller up a little bit higher on the shoulder blades and do the same thing. So a lot of people ask, well, where do I put this foam roller? So golden rule is don't ever go any lower than the shoulder blade and don't go any higher than the shoulder blade. You're not going to be causing damage or pain. It's just we're not targeting that thoracic spine anymore. We're starting to tap into that low back and the neck area. That's not the area that we're trying to target with this exercise. Let's do 2 more. Good. All right. Now what we're going to do, so ideally you can do like 10 repetitions of that and do like 1 to 2 sets. Okay, just do it like twice throughout the day. All right. And as always, if you guys want to copy this mobility routine, just let me know and I can send it to you. All right. You guys can put in like the comment section, or if you're watching on this replay, sometimes I'm not able to go back and look at the comments if it's too far back. So just send me a private message on Facebook and I'll get that to you. All right. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to go after thoracic rotation or mid-back rotation. All right. Our spine moves in flexion and extension, and then also rotation. All right. When we're sitting with bad posture, our thoracic spine is in flexion. We just worked on extension with this one. Now we're going to go over rotation. All right. So hand will be down here, and then we are just rotating, keeping our knees down, and then trying to bring our hand down to the floor and then back. All right, and you want to make sure your head is following your arm. If the knees come up a little bit, that's okay. We just don't want them like this. Okay, it takes the slack off the area that we're trying to mobilize. Do about 5 more. And then breathing out as we bring our hand close to the floor. 2 more. And we are going to switch. I'm just going to check the comments, see if you guys got any questions. Oh, good morning, Kelly. It's rainy in Chicago. So I don't know if you know this about me. I'm actually from Iowa, so I know all about the crazy Midwest weather. I'll actually be going home hopefully in July for the 4th, so hopefully the weather is a little bit nicer then. It's probably going to be like 90, 95 degrees. I won't be surprised. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to do the same thing on the other side. And rotating and opening up. And then make a mental note on if you feel like one side is tighter than the other. Again, some of you guys may feel this in the low back. That's okay. We can also, if our low back is tight, it's going to hit one of the muscles there. Just your body's way of telling you that there might be something going on there as well. Do 3 more. Then we're going to move on to the lat. The good thing about this exercise is not only helps with rotation of that thoracic spine, but it also helps with loosening up this pec muscle. Okay, that we're talking about how that gets tight too, if we're sitting for a long period of time with improper posture. Okay, so next thing that we're going to do is go after the lats. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to position. Actually, we can start here. So what you can do is you take your foam roller. If you don't have a foam roller, that's okay. What you're going to do is you're just going to slide your hand on the floor instead. What you're going to do is you're going to take your thumb, keep it pointed up. Okay, we're on all fours, and then what we're doing is we're sinking our chest down and reaching forward. And then when we get to the end position, we want to have our palm up. Okay, and then we're back up. And then just doing oscillations and repeated repetitions of this. You should feel this kind of underneath the armpit. May extend kind of down the side of the upper body as well. Again, none of these should be painful. If you're having pain, it just means your body needs something different. Do 3 more. Good. All right, and now we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So we're starting with our thumb up, starting at 90 degrees at the elbow crease, and then we are pushing and reaching forward, sinking our chest down close to the floor. Then our end position is with the palm up. Three more. And this is a great way to warm up too, before workouts as well, okay? Instead of doing the static holds. Okay, so what we're gonna do next is, I'm gonna reposition this so you guys can get a little bit better angle. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we are going to get in all 4 position again. All right, and we're going after the lat. What we're gonna do is we're gonna take our left hand, sweep it over the top of the right, and then reposition the right hand. And then from there, we're just sinking our hips down. Okay, we should feel a nice stretch on that left lat. I'm gonna hold this for about 30 seconds. We're doing 6 deep breaths. That usually equates to about 30 seconds. And if this bothers your guys' knees, you can just put like a pillow underneath them. All right, we're going to switch and do the same thing on the other side. So get back in that all four position. Now we're reaching our right hand over our left, repositioning that left hand, and then sinking the hips down or back. And now we should be feeling this in our right lat. All right. Now, what we're going to do is, so the best way to loosen up any tight muscle is a combination of stretching as well as foam rolling. Okay, so I gave you guys 2 good stretches for the lat. Now we're going to go over how to loosen that up with a foam roller. Okay, you can use a foam roller. You could use a tennis ball. You could use a softball. You could use like a frozen water bottle, something like that. All right, what we're going to do is, and this one can be kind of uncomfortable. Okay, so ease your way into it. What you're going to do is you're just going to place that foam roller underneath your lat. Okay, kind of underneath your armpit. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to try and find a tight spot. A lot of times when people just kind of lay on this, right away they kind of find it. All right, but we're going to do, you know how we kind of opened up with that other exercise? We're going to do kind of the same thing. We're going to place our arm across our chest or on our opposite shoulder, and then we're just going to rotate and rock back and forth, try and find any tight spot. You want to go nice and slow with this, and then you can start working and rotating back a little bit further and then coming back forward. And then once you find a tight spot, what you can do is you just hold down on it. Okay, our muscles can only contract if they're getting blood flow. Or if we pause and hold down on this foam roller on top of it, then what we're going to do is we're going to decrease how much blood flow is getting to that muscle, and it won't be able to contract. So that muscle will release. So ideally you want to foam roll for about a minute or two. I personally found a really good spot, so I'm just going to pause. You guys can rotate back and forth if you want. And really focus on relaxing into this. It's easy to muscle guard, or especially if it's really uncomfortable, what the muscle will do to protect itself is it'll try and contract. Right? Make sure it's not too intense, otherwise this won't be effective. All right, guys. Now we're going to go over and do the same thing on the right side. Well, again, we'll pay attention to any asymmetries. So for me, this right side's a lot more tense. And so we can rotate. Sometimes when I do these mobility classes, I realize, wow, I need to be doing this more too. All right, physical therapists aren't always perfect. Give this about another minute. Again, focus on your deep breathing. It'll help you relax. right. Okay, you guys can go and relax there. Okay, so to recap, went over 3 lat exercises or stretches, ways to loosen that up, and then also the thoracic mobility, okay? So it'll be a good place to start for you guys. Any questions? If you guys have any questions, put those in the comments here real quick while I wrap up. Okay, so I'm super passionate about this stuff because I see so many people that go through their everyday lives with unnecessary shoulder pain, all right? It's usually a really easy fix, okay? Especially if you're really not having that much. It's just like it kind of pops up with like working out, like with push-ups or shoulder press or something like that. It's usually a really easy fix. And I have patients that come in like, oh my gosh, I was dealing with this for, 4 or 5 years, and they're like, I wish I would have done this so much sooner, right? So usually with, it's really minor. It takes like 2 or 3 sessions, and you're back to doing push-ups. You're back to doing workouts the way you want to be doing it, and not having to warm up for 30 minutes before your workout and then 30 minutes afterwards. And you're actually spending more. Patients, well, I hear it all the time. Patients like, I spend more time warming up than I do working out because of this. And in reality, it's a pretty easy fix. Okay. And then what we're doing today too is I'm doing a special. So anybody attended or takes advantage of this within by the end of the day at 6 p.m. We're doing 50% off initial evaluation. That's both in person as well as virtually. With regards to if you're having shoulder injuries, this is kind of what to expect. We go over a comprehensive movement assessment with regards to the shoulder range of motion. Kind of similar tests that we did at the beginning. They're just a little bit more advanced. And then we will be going over muscle strength assessment, and then also kind of going through and seeing how you guys do with different movement patterns, such as like if you're able to do a push-up, what that looks like, or going through things that you guys are struggling with and having difficulty doing with regards to exercise. A lot of times it's also just form. A lot of times people are like, oh my gosh, I just fixed my form and I'm pain-free. So it's not always that you have an injury, a specific injury. It's just that you're kind of irritating it by doing the incorrect movement pattern. Okay. Let's see if there's any questions here. Let's see. Are tight shoulders related to neck pain or hand pain? So absolutely. Okay. So great question. So a lot of times, one thing we didn't talk about was the upper trap. Okay, so the upper trap is a muscle that attaches to the base of the skull and comes down and attaches at that shoulder. Okay, we talked about earlier that when we sit with bad posture, rounded out like this, okay, and for us to lift our necks up and look at computer screen, now that upper trap has to contract. Okay, so now our shoulders rounded forward, this muscle's getting tight, okay, our muscles in the back are getting weak, and then this muscle in the back of the neck is tight because it's constantly having to hold the head up, right? However, if we fix our posture and we sit up nice and tall, now we get support from our vertebrae, all right, which are bones. They don't have to contract. We get support from that, so now that neck muscle doesn't have to continuously contract to hold that head up. So absolutely, a lot of times I see it when people come in with shoulder injuries, they tell me they have tons of headaches, which can be caused by that tight upper trap, just by the way it interacts with the nerves around our head and where it attaches. And then also because they're just sitting with poor posture. Okay. So yeah, absolutely. It can be totally related. And then also with hand pain. Yes. So this is kind of a little bit more complicated. But if we have muscles and nerves, all right, that exit through the back of our spine. Okay. And then they travel down through the front of that pec. Okay. We talked about that pec muscle. It's in the front. Okay. And that can get tight if we're rounded out like this. So the nerves and arteries travel through that pec and then down to the arm and down into the hand. Okay, so especially if you're waking up with a lot of numbness and tingling at night, this can be caused because of poor shoulder positioning, right, and tightness in the front. If that pec is really, really tight, it's going to compress down those nerves and arteries and cause that numbness and tingling. Okay, so a lot of times this is frequent at night. Okay, so yeah, that can be caused actually by what's happening up here. Right, so that's the thing is the body's so complicated that just because you're having pain in the hand doesn't mean it's actually coming from the hand. It's actually most likely coming from your neck or upper, kind of around the shoulder area. Okay, and that's usually a pretty easy fix too. All right. One exercise that's super important for that is the thoracic mobility stuff that we went over. Okay. So the extensions and then the open books are what they're called. Okay, like this. That helps loosen up that pec. Okay, it's a good place to start. Does that make sense, Kelly? You can put that in the comment while I answer this question. All right. Is weakness or limited wrist mobility caused shoulder issues or pain? Yes. So there's direct correlation. They've done research. There's direct correlation between grip strength and shoulder health. Okay. If we have shoulder pain, okay, we're much less likely to use that hand, right? And subsequent, if we have hand pain, we're much less likely to use that arm, and then our shoulder muscles get weak. Okay, there's correlation between that. So let me see here. So yeah, if you're weak there, you just might be tend to not use that as much, causing weakness up the chain. So it's kind of like what came first, the chicken or the egg? You know, is your weakness in your hand because you have shoulder issues, you're not using it, or is your shoulder pain causing you not to use your arm, and so you're using your hand less, causing weakness and decreased mobility, right? It's hard to tell. Okay, it can be 50-50. They can both be playing a factor. They could be feeding off one another, right? So getting the root cause, that's important as well. Okay. Steph, does that answer your question? I think Kelly, I see that answered yours. Okay, awesome. Very good. Glad that makes sense. Okay. Awesome. Yeah, that's kind of the gist of it. It can be a little more complicated. I'll have a better idea if we're able to do like an assessment or something to make it customized and individualized to you. Because, you know, like I said, their body's so complicated, and we want to make sure that I'm giving you exercise that are actually going to be beneficial. First rule of medicine is do no harm. Okay. So awesome. All right, Steph. Yes. Good. Glad that helped. Okay. But yeah. All right, guys. So next Thursday, what we're going to do is probably go after. I know there's tons of people that are spending more time running as of late, because of everything going on, trying to get stress relief. And now a lot of people are coming and telling me that they're having a lot of knee pain. And so what we'll probably do next week, we may have to change our time. Instead of doing Thursday, I'll have to talk to Allison about that. We may do Tuesday or something like that, just because of my schedule. And going over knee pain, okay, and ways to loosen that up as well. But yeah, all right. And then, yeah, Kelly. Yeah, actually, I do miss. Part of me does miss the Midwest quite a bit. So I'm looking forward to get back in July for a little bit too. So, but yeah, hope you guys have a good rest of your Thursday, and then enjoy the weekend. We've had beautiful weather, so hopefully that continues into the weekend as well. But remember, right? Try and get out in safe ways. Okay, what I mean by that is go for a run. You know, get out, get some vitamin D. All right, we need to be make sure we're staying healthy during this time, because when this is all over with and we start transitioning back to some normalcy, we need to make sure that we're putting ourselves in the best position to be successful and decrease the risk for injury, improve our immune system, stuff like that. So make sure we're getting out, getting that vitamin D, and doing social distancing, but still getting out and getting exercise. All right, we don't want to be cooped up in our home. All right, but yeah, and then Kelly, I'll send that to you. To your email. Thanks for reminding me. Yeah, if you guys want the copy of this routine, just let me know, and you can just send me your email through Facebook, or you can find us. I'll put a link to our website too, and you can message us through that if that's the easiest as well. So, yeah, hope you guys enjoy your weekend.